Okay, so now that we have gone through our memoir, we've edited out the main sections, we have gone through and added details to our characters, to our setting, to our theme, and to our motif. The last section is those strong verbs and is the showing, not telling section. So there is a handout that I gave everybody that looks like this. That just gives you some ideas and tips for doing that. Basically, a great way to show your and to make your writing stronger is to practice using strong verbs and to show what's happening instead of telling. Below are some examples of showing versus telling. There are also charts with ideas for phrases, words, or ideas that you could use for different to be verbs and emotions. Feel free to use these or come up with your own. So angry, excited, shocked, embarrassed, hot, cold, nervous, shy, tired, worried, sick, proud, frustrated, bored, interested, confused, disappointed, playful, brave, strong, weak, afraid, happy, sad, lonely, hungry, sleepy, thirsty, full, and lucky. So I gave you tons of ideas that you can go through. You can also come up with your own ideas as you read through. So let's read through the memoir one more time and see if there are some opportunities where I can show instead of tell. Show you how I'm feeling, show you what's happening instead of telling you what I'm feeling or what is happening. Stealing from the Holy City by Tori Bissell. I've been putting this off for a long time, but I know the story needs to be told. I know the story needs to be shared. I'd like to share the story of the worst panic attack I've ever suffered. And when I say I'd like to share, what I actually mean is I feel like I have to share. There is something within me that compels me to share it because it is an elephant sitting on my chest, and I know only words can lift the burden. I was 21 and in my fourth year of university. Along with a group of 20 to 30 other bright-eyed and excited students, we had made our way to Italy on a teaching placement. We were to teach English in Italian schools for 3 weeks, and on the weekends we could travel. This weekend we had traveled from the small Italian village located on the countryside we were teaching, where we were teaching, to the busy multi-language tourist city of Rome. As a class, we headed to the Vatican to see artistic wonders we had only imagined or seen in textbooks. Headed is a verb. We could replace it. So as a class, we had headed to the Vatican. It's better than went. We piled into taxis to go to the Vatican to see artistic wonders we had only imagined or seen in textbooks. I was dying to see the majesty of the Sistine Chapel, the decades of biblical artistry and artifacts displayed, and the Catholic Holy City. I had heard the city within a city. I had heard that the city within city was a chaotic, packed tourist attraction. But when I had asked our university professors how crowded it would be, they told me I'd be fine. It wasn't going to be that busy. They told me I'd be so mesmerized by the artwork and history I wouldn't notice. Cautiously optimistic, I went. They lied. The truth is that just thinking about this memory makes my chest tighten and my breath feel harder to get out. Just recalling that painful memory brings tears to my eyes. There's something so raw about recalling the worst moment of your entire life. I feel exposed and I'm unsure where to start. So I will start at the end, the only truly clear part of this memory. It was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, but I can't really be sure. I'm sitting on the creaky, overly lumpy bed of my musty hostel room in Rome, and I'm holding the cold plastic tape recorder with the cheap headphones dragging on the floor. So sitting is not the greatest verb, so I'm slouched over on the creaky, overly lumpy bed of my musty hostel room in Rome. I'm holding The cold plastic tape recorder. Again, holding is not a strong word. At this point, I'm like holding on for dear life. So you could use that if you describe it like that. So I'm gripping, I'm I'm grasping, but I kind of like I'm grasping the cold plastic tape recorder, and the cheap headphones are dragging on the floor. The sound of the guided tour rings in the earbuds, but is muffled. I can't believe I stole this from the Vatican. I stole from the Holy City. Me. I've never stolen anything in my life. Well, until now. I half expected the police to break down my door and drag me off to some Italian prison somewhere, or perhaps for a lightning bolt to strike me down where I sat. Tears pour down my face, and I feel completely. I'm changing tenses here again. I half expect the police to break down my door and drag me off to some Italian prison somewhere, or perhaps for a lightning bolt to strike me down where I sit. Tears pour down my face, and I feel completely spent. My arms sag to my side, and I'm shaking from head down to my tippy toes. I feel exhausted, tired, beaten down, broken, devastated, hurt, embarrassed, and shaken. See, all of these words, it's probably not even necessary because a lot of the description above is giving that. Like I slouched down and then later I fell asleep. So that's the exhausted part and the tired part. Um, the beaten down, broken, and devastated. Like I'm crying. I'm embarrassed that I stole the thing and shaking. Like you really don't even need those descriptive words because I've just basically described it. So I'm going to take that out. I have never felt so destroyed. I wish, again, I don't really need that either. I wish I could crawl into the corner and curl up into a ball and die. Like that shows that I was embarrassed. Could even say if you looked at that document that I gave you, we could look at the word embarrassed to see what else it says. Cheeks on fire, blushing or turning red, fighting back tears, heart racing, wanting to disappear or hide. So see, I've already got that. So I'm basically saying the embarrassed part without needing to say embarrassed. I'm also not exactly sure how I managed to make it back to my bedroom. The last 30 or 45 minutes or so feels like a complete blur. I dropped the tape recorder onto the dirty floor with a thump. Drop is not the strongest word. I let the tape recorder stumble out of my hands. Like it kind of like falls out onto the dirty floor with a thump. Pull, yank is a better word. Yank the paper thin, moth eaten blanket on the bed over my head, shrinking my body and pushing myself as close to the wall as I can. I wish I could disappear into the faded, peeling wallpaper. I'm not sure exactly when I fell asleep, but I drifted away in complete exhaustion. Okay, the drifted away in complete exhaustion part, I'm basically saying I was exhausted, but maybe there's a more descriptive way for saying that, like I faded into nothingness. Ooh, I like that. I like that better than I'm not sure when I fell asleep, but my eyelids drooped, my body shut down, and I faded into nothingness. Nothingness is not a great word, but I like it. I didn't wake up till about 7 or 8 p.m. the next day when someone shook me from my sleep, asked if I was okay, and wondered if I wanted dinner. I slept for 30 hours straight, but I don't feel rested. I feel achy, sore, and drained. I don't feel rested. I think I think there might be a stronger way I can even say this part. I slept for 30 hours straight. My neck feels tense. My throat sore, and I can barely lift myself up. The stolen tape recorder, forgotten on the floor, has played its batteries dead. But why does this memory start at the end? Well, it starts at the end because the beginning and the middle are an incomplete memory. Why do our memories betray us? I remember the feelings, but I can't remember very much else. I remember the panic that gripped me, strangling me from the inside. The way I felt like I was going to explode because my heart beat harder than it had ever beat in my life. My shirt is drenched with a mixture of sweat and tears. I feel cold because I can't stop myself from shaking. So if you're shaking, it's because you're cold. So I think I can just take that out. I can't stop myself from shaking, trembling, teeth chattering. I hear voices somewhere off in the distance as if I'm underwater, while the people all around me are not. I feel people pressing in on me from every side. I say I feel a lot, but I could just put people are pressing in on me from every side. The walls are closing in and the air is getting thin. A sense of dread overcomes me, and I realize there is no way out. My legs are, I think a metaphor is stronger, so I'm going to say my legs are 5,000-pound cement blocks, and no matter how hard I try to lift them, willing myself to move them, they won't budge. My eyes are blurry. I can't see, and I wonder if I am going blind. My hands are sweating. I already talked about sweating up here, so I think I could change this. My hands are clammy. I open my mouth, willing my throat to scream, to cry, to beg for help, to do something, but I can't. No words come out. A silent scream. My heart beats so loudly in my ears I couldn't hear a word. The only thing I heard was the repeated tape of anxiety. You are alone. You can't do this. Everyone can see you freaking out. There are too many people. Over and over again, that song plays. That nightmare of a song plays. I feel like I am dying. Again, I can just take out I feel like and just say I am dying. And no one notices. They keep pushing. They keep shoving. I will never be able to escape. That is what I remember from visiting the Vatican. Fragments of memories littered with feelings, but they are incomplete. I wish I could remember a more complete picture. I wish I could tell this story in a way that makes sense, in a way that explains how it happened, but I can't. I only have incomplete fragments. I feel like that's repeated too because I have fragments of memories littered. I wish I could express is a stronger word than tell. At the Vatican, I have a cassette tape recorded tour. Look at the people. So many people pushing, shoving, tiny hallway. People, so many people, too many people. I am frozen, grasping, having to make it through the door. Have to, people, too many people. Door, have to get to that door, drowning, pleading, dying, the door, have to get to that door, escape, pushing, shoving, too many people, door, gasp, St. Peter's Basilica, gigantic room, more people, I can't move, people pushing, shoving, I can't move, go backwards, I can't, shove, have to get out right now, push, shove, move, run. And then I am sitting alone in the hostel bedroom made for five, holding a stolen tape recorder in my hand, the booty from an accidental robbery. So I think both sitting and holding are not strong words or strong verbs. So let's replace them. Then I am marooned. Then I am marooned, like left all alone, in the hostel bedroom made for five, tightly gripping A stolen tape recorder in my hand, the booty from an accidental robbery. Somehow I had managed to escape and miss the worst panic attack of my life. Somehow I had managed to get a cab and tell an Italian speaking taxi driver who didn't speak English where to go, even though I didn't speak Italian. Somehow I had gotten out alive. Somehow I had even managed to pay the driver. Somehow I was now on my bed in the hostel with my bag and that stolen tape recorder. It is the evidence that something happened, even if I don't remember. Looking back, I am keenly aware of the protection of my Heavenly Father. In the middle of my panic, I felt alone. I felt like I was going to die. I felt lost. But I know God protected me. He helped me to get out. He helped me to get home. He helped me to be safe. I know that one of the words on this document is lonely. And I kind of wanted to describe that I felt lonely. I'm just wondering what words they use because it might give me some ideas. Sitting or standing alone, eyes looking down, curled in a corner, heartache or heartbroken, eyes welling with tears, soft cracking voice, frowning or lips quivering, gazing out the window. None of those really work, so I'll just leave it for now. I know without a shadow of a doubt that he did that he was there, because there is absolutely no way I could have. I think I'll just take this off. There is absolutely no way I could have gotten out on my own. No way I could have gotten back to this hostel in a foreign country where I didn't speak the language or know where I was going on my own. I wasn't alone. I couldn't have been. If only the tape recorder had played the promises I had tucked away from Hebrews. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. In the middle of the Vatican, he was there. Even when I couldn't hear him, in the middle of my panic attack, he was there. In my anxiety, he was there. He is always there. He sings truth over the lies that play on repeat. It's funny, we know we know the truth. That truth is hidden in our hearts, but we forget. We miss the promises over and over again. If only in the middle of that I had been able to tell myself the truth and hear the words of my Heavenly Father, how would it have been? How different would it have been if in the panic, in the fear, and the anxiety, I'd heard him saying, Tori, I am here, I won't leave you, I won't forsake you. But instead, the fears, the worries, and the lies pounded in my ears. The tape recorder in my hands didn't play the right song. Okay, there we go. I think we fixed some of those verbs. I'm going to save it. And then I encourage you guys to do the same thing, to go through, add those strong verbs,